Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to talk about a subject that is kind of like, I don't know, for some reason within my peers is something that has happened quite a bit. My peers, I don't mean my peers at work, I mean my peers like after graduating from college. It seems to me that a lot of people who go into engineering, they have a hard time finding a job, which I don't know why. Maybe it's just the area that I'm at. And all of them, they decide to jump into teaching. So teaching on high school, teaching on college if they have a master's degree or something similar. Now, this is my opinion about doing that, and if I think you should do it if you're having trouble like finding a job and like stuff like that. In my case, there's also other factors. So, for example, being an international does influence that a little bit. Mostly because when you apply for a high school to be a teacher, a lot of times they for some reason they really like engineers and they want them to be teaching math classes and science classes. So they will offer you like long contracts, and they usually will offer you sponsorships as well. Sponsorships means that you can get a residence. While if you go straight into working as an engineer, you probably will not get a sponsorship most likely unless you're very smart or you have a good network. You will be a little harder to get a sponsorship from a company right out of college. So that's a thing to consider. I have a bunch of friends who they did that. They just graduated from college, they went into teaching, and now they are residents. So they are good to go. The pay is okay. They have a lot of vacation. They have free time. So they have a good life. Now, the other difference, like for example, if you become a teacher, the cap is going to be a little lower for salary, but you will have a lot more vacations. And another thing that is going to be, it's not to be mean or anything, but they say that the first year of teaching is the hardest one, and after that it is just repetition. And it's kind of true, because you just need to get used to the program or the system on what you're going to be teaching, and then it just becomes doing it over and over and over and over again. So I mean, if you don't want to really think too much about it, if you want to just I'm just going to enjoy myself, I'm not saying teaching is easy, it's really hard. But I think it's just more automatic the way you do your job. So then go for it. Especially if you're international and you really want to become a resident, then that's a good option and that's a good thing to do. Now the problem if you do that is that it will be very hard to go back into engineering after you become a resident, or just in general. So you're probably going to be stuck into teaching. Another option that you can do is just go for a master's degree and then try to teach in college. Like maybe apply for a PhD program and try to become a college professor, which is another very good option. The salary is going to be a little higher. They say that the workload is a little easier than high school. Plus, you still get all the cool vacations that all the teachers get. The only problem with that is it's going to be more years. Let's say 5 years of college compared to 9 years if you want to get a PhD, 7 years if you want to get your master's plus. But the only problem with that is that you will have to teach at a community college, which might be okay, but you will probably not be teaching engineering or high-level engineering at a community college. So if you want to do research and you want to actually develop things within your field, you will probably need to get into a PhD. The good thing about this is that if you apply for a PhD, you can usually be teaching and studying for your PhD. So it's a good compromise. I haven't looked that much into this, but I've heard that the salaries are not as good as it should be for your level of education. Now the thing is that if you go into an engineering work, you're going to be doing what you actually studied for. Usually the entry-level salary, from personal experience, is about the same or maybe a little lower than maybe what you're going to be doing in teaching. But the benefit of that is that you will have a higher salary after 1 year. So for example, I remember my first job was lower than a teaching position, and I got an offer for a high school too, but I just didn't take it because I wanted to be an engineer. So I took the engineering position and I was working that under a lower salary with less vacation. But after 1 year, I just got a big raise and I was pretty good and I was making more than my peers. The problem with an engineering position is usually that you also get less vacations. So you will get less vacation, you will work maybe a little harder, and another thing is that you will not be doing repetitive stuff. So if you have a hard time studying, or you don't like studying, or it's just something that you're just I'm done with school, I don't want to study anymore, then probably you might not like this. Now again, I'm talking from personal experience. I'm not talking about other engineering positions. In my position, it's usually you get a project, you get a problem, and a lot of times I don't know what the hell is going on. I mean, I have an idea of how to solve it, but every problem is project specific, so you need to accommodate, you need to do a little things differently, so you can have go bys, but at the end of the day, you need to use your engineering judgment, plus past experience, plus actual reading a lot to make a decision on something. So it's good if you like that kind of challenge, plus the salary is higher. But again, like you don't have as much vacation, it can be very, very stressful, especially when you have a deadline or something goes wrong. At the end of the day, it's your decision, and every decision that you take is very respectable, and don't worry too much about what people think. It's your life. And think about what you want to do with your life. You can try to like have fun, relax. Personally, like in the middle ground, I want to have like a good life, but not so easy. You know, I want a little challenge. So at the end of the day, it's your life, and do whatever you want. All right, guys. I hope you like this video. I hope you like knowing or seeing the difference between like going straight to teaching or going for an engineering degree, or like all the other options that you have. And if you like this video, or if you have any questions or anything else, please send me a message and subscribe to my channel. Have a good one.